Look at all this stuff. Look at all this
It's
stuff.
it's amazing. You know what? A lot of people are letting this quarantine stop them, and then a lot of people is opening up creative ways to get things done. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So I'm basically I'm able to cut around here and show you all these different shots. I'm recording into Pro Tools right now. This is my drum machine. Check out my my MPC drum machine here. Now I haven't got it set up yet, Ice, where I can play the drum machine and the sound goes back to you. Otherwise, I'd make you a dope beat right now, and we'd
Oh
be.
no, I've heard some of your beats. I already know that you actually can produce. I already know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh wow. Nice. Nice. That's cool.
Yeah, I've heard some. I've heard some of it.
Well, that's amazing. Yeah, on Twitter, I'm assuming, right? Because I sent you some stuff on Twitter, I think.
No, I don't know. This was before we actually started talking. You know, I've been following you for a minute, so I heard something and I was like, "What Tommy Green doing?" That next thing you know, I'm like, "Oh, he knows what the fuck he's doing."
Nice, nice. That is a huge endorsement. Thank you very much. Well, let's just jump right into it. We're rolling, and this is how it works. You know, I can see you, you can see me. Everyone will be able to see us. It might get a little distracting because I'm cutting around, and it'll cut to you sometimes and not. But just sort of, we'll ignore
You're
that.
a one-man operation there.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just kind of.
Usually there's people in a control room doing that while we talk, but you got to do it yourself. So
yeah, that's kind of the fun of this. I call it Webo-vision. Okay, it's basic. So, it's my podcast, but it's my Webo-vision. Okay, but in a lot of ways, it kind of. I mean, I used to make beats when I was a kid, and of course, when I was a kid. When I started listening to rap music, I was listening to you. Your first record came out, and it was a crazy time, man. Like I remember, being completely inspired and by everything that you did, and you were really one of the first West Coast rappers, right?
Yeah. Well, I was the first West Coast cat to rap like they rap in New York City. Los Angeles had more of a techno style. Started with people like Egyptian Lover and LA Dream Team and, Uncle Jam's Army. And they were doing that kind of music. And then I was like the first person to really, rap kind of like the way the New York cats rapped. And, it just took off from there. But yeah.
So you're from New Jersey, but you moved out to LA and finished high school out here in LA. And
yeah.
was that when you started rapping in high school?
Nah. What happened was I was born in Newark, New Jersey. I lived in Summit, New Jersey. My mother died when I was in the 3rd grade, and then my father passed when I was in the 7th grade.
Yeah.
And that moved me to Los Angeles to live with my aunt. Yeah. And I wasn't rapping yet. Rap hadn't even come out yet. And I went to Palms Junior High School in Culver City. I was bused to Palms. And then after that, I went to Crenshaw High School, which is dead center, South Central Los Angeles. And that's where I got involved with the whole gang thing and, a more rougher form of Los Angeles. Then I got my girlfriend pregnant when I was really just getting out of the 12th grade. And I decided I needed to try to become responsible. I went in the military and I did 4 years in the Army. Hip hop happened while I was in the service.
Ah, okay.
When I was in the Army, I had bought a whole bunch of stereo equipment from the PX because my plan was to come home and be a DJ and throw parties like Uncle Jam's Army, things like that. And then rap hit because a lot of cats in the Army were from New York City, so they had the tapes. There's like 4 generations of by now there's a lot of generations, but the very first generation of hip hop is unrecorded hip hop. That's before it got on records.
Yeah.
That was just tapes.
Okay.
And that's when the early rappers, the Fearless 3 and Funky 4 plus one more, the Treacherous 3.
Yeah.
And Cold Crush Brothers and all that stuff. That was happening in New York on tapes.
Right.
But I was in the military with New York kids who had the tapes. So I kind of heard hip hop early, even before Sugar Hill Gang came out. And, it's such like, it's an intriguing culture. It's hip hop. The cool thing about hip hop is with a little practice, anybody can do it. With a
Well,
little practice.
a lot of practice, yeah. Yeah.
So you could be a DJ. You could say, I want to be a DJ. You could say, I want to rap. I want to be a dancer. I want to be a graffiti artist like yourself. I want to be a producer. I want to make the music. So a lot of ways you can get in the door and still be part of the culture. So, I started off wanting to be a DJ, ended up becoming a rapper.
Isn't it wild? Like, because I grew up before the internet too, right? So for me, we were sort of passing tapes around. I mean, rap had become a thing by then. I discovered hip hop through Sugar Hill Gang, but really it was Run DMC, yourself, Public Enemy, Beastie Boys. And that was when I kind of really discovered it, really got excited about it. And but then you came out and you were from the West Coast and you were doing something completely different. It was, I remember we went and saw Breakin'. You were in Breakin'. You did the song Reckless in Breakin', right? That was cool. I mean, did you ever think at the time, did you think at that time this is going to turn into the biggest art form, the biggest music that is the most mainstream thing in all of culture?
Well, the first thing that happened for me was being from LA, the rap scene is different. Like the kids in LA were like more like on the gangbanging tips. So the rap had to reflect what LA was. LA kids are low riding and doing different things than New Yorkers. So, that's why, our music eventually got titled gangster rap.
Right. They say you were one of the first or the first gangster rapper. Is that true, or?
I would say Schoolie D from Philadelphia, because that's what inspired me.
Looking at my Gucci, it's about that time, right?
And PSK, which was the song he made about a gang called Parkside Killers. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, wow. Every time I would hear a new rapper like Melly Mel or somebody, I would like, okay, you could take rap in this direction. Before that, I was just partying. I'm like, you could tell a story. You could talk about history. You could talk about politics. You could talk about your neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I started to rap about West Coast lifestyle and what it was. And later came N.W.A. And, it just became a movement that really worked out of LA because of the LA lifestyle. But thinking, would I make money? No. I was in the streets at that time. I was hustling, doing whatever I could to get $1. My friends were like, why are you wasting time rapping? Like, why are you even bullshitting with this?
Right.
No one had ever even bought a car rapping. Run DMC and them hadn't made it big yet.
Yeah.
So they thought I was just full of shit. And I saw Run DMC at the LA Sports Arena with lasers in a full concert. And that day I realized this is going to be big. So like you say, Run influenced you, and they influenced me too, because I kind of thought rap was going to just be in backyards and garages. And like I said, no one had ever even bought a car doing it.
Yeah. So at what point did that flip and you realized, damn, like I'm making a lot of money here. I better like put everything into this. Was there a point where you were kind of just doing it for fun and then all of a sudden, wait a minute, I got to stop. This is everything I'm going to put my focus on?
Yeah, well, I wasn't making any money with rapping out the gate, and my friends were making more money in the streets. They were hustling, but I always knew that, let's just say, breaking the law had a low life expectancy.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And anybody who's hustling, I don't care what they're doing, if you're crossing that line, you can only cross it so many times before you get caught. It's just what it is. So I wanted out. I didn't think I was going to be Tony Montana and end up, and even at the end of Scarface, you see how that ended up. So I was like, look, this is the way out. And I just started to work at it. And that's why my first album, when I finally got a record deal, was called Rhyme Pays.
Yeah.
Which was a play on the term crime pays.
Sure. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, hey, and you know, I'm very fortunate. I found a vehicle to get away from all that.
Yeah. Was it when everything started to take off, and now you were doing movies, and you did the movie Break. Was Breakin' the first movie that you did, or?
Yes, breaking. What happened was, um, there was a club called the Radio in MacArthur Park downtown Alvera Street area. Not Alvera Street. It's near MacArthur Park.
Right.
But it was owned by a guy named Alex Jordanoff and another guy named KK, two white cats that had come to LA by way of New York. They were graffiti artists, and they created like the first real hip hop club. And by me having like the first rap record out in LA in 1982, they had me come there and perform. That club was very trendy. People like Adam Ant were there, Malcolm McLaren was there, Madonna was there,
Yeah.
and there were break dancers there. So it was like a little bite of New York in LA. The producers for Breakin' came in there and they said, we got a movie. Like, here's the dancers, here's the DJ, you're the rapper. And they just kind of took all the people that were in that place and made a movie based around that club. The cold thing is they fucked the guy who owned the club. The club was called the Radio,
Right.
and the movie was called the Radiotron.
Ah.
So they stole my man's name. You know, welcome to Hollywood. You know, they just came in and started. But yeah, that was the first movie I was in, and that was the first visual people have of a rapper. That was the first time people that ever. I was called, Tom, in that movie. I was called featured rap talker.
Yeah. Really? Oh, yeah. They didn't even know what to call it yet. That's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, but I think about this a lot, and I'm curious, you know, what your thoughts are on this, because like you were doing it, you know, you were there creating all of this, but you know, isn't it interesting now? Like everyone who grows up today, they've got the kids today, they've got the internet, you know, and everyone has the ability to have access to everything and can see things all over the world and can hear ideas and information from all over the world. And you know, when I was growing up, you know, I was a kid listening to you, listening to Public Enemy, listening to Boogie Down Productions in Ottawa. I'm in Ottawa, Canada. Yeah. And I remember you came and played in Ottawa. We saw a Body Count at Porter Hall at Carleton University, right? And but I remember, but before that, before you came and played there, you couldn't even buy the music in most record stores. There was one record store in Ottawa called Downtown Records. You'd go down there, you could get the tapes there, get the vinyl there, and then you'd listen to rap music. You know, this is 1980s, you know, and you'd listen to it, and it was kind of like a window into a whole other world, right? And that was kind of like what the internet is today, but I think people keep it, you know, take it for granted that we can see anything. Back then, I was listening to you, I was listening to Boogie Down Production, going, wow, that's what life is like in America, and in sort of a different world than mine, right? Do you think that's kind of changed? Is that's still in music though, right? But do you think it was more impactful back then because of that?
Well, everything has changed, Tom. I mean, it's just, I think that, yes, since things are so easy now for us, everybody takes it for granted. You take as technology moves us forward, we take it for granted. I remember my father used to say, you know, I had to walk 20 miles to get here. And you're like, walk? What are you talking about walking? You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody had it harder because technology not only makes it easier, it makes you more lazy.
Yeah.
So now, you know, when you tell a kid now a record store, they're like, a record store? You really had to go in the store and go through oh man, my wrists would get tired.
Yeah.
And you had to listen to the record, and that itself has changed everything. Just the form of a record, a long playing record.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When you put on an album, you commit to listening to a side of a record.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
In the order that the artist wanted it in, and you're reading the liner notes and looking at all the artwork at the same time. It's a whole package, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Now you have a short attention span. So what you do is you just pick one song. I took 2 years to make 15 songs. You just pick one song.
Yeah.
And you buy it, and that's it. And it's like, it's a whole nother game. I mean, Quincy Jones taught me, he said, Ice, if you ever want to lose a fight, fight the future.
Yeah, yeah, wow.
So what's going on in the direction this is happening, would you ever think, being a hip-hop kid, that you would say the good old days, like the good old hip-hop days? You know,
Back when I was a kid, yeah.
It's so funny because hip-hop was such a youth-based music. We were all kids. Everyone was kids.
Yeah.
To now turn around and say it ain't like the good old days, it's so ironic. But it's what it is. I think one thing about that particular culture, it locked us in. Like, we still believe we're that age. Like, it locks you into, like, you're telling the new rap kids, you ain't as cool as me. You can't break dance. You don't know what the hell you talking about. You wasn't there. So it was such a powerful movement when it was being created that it's hard for you to respect anything new. It's like somebody that was there when Bob Marley was singing reggae.
Yeah.
And then you're telling me about a new reggae. You're like, motherfucker, I was there with Bob Marley. Like, get the fuck out of here with the new guy. We're talking about when it was really, because any cultural movement is its strongest at the root. Whether it's punk rock, whether it's metal, whatever it is, when it's really being created, that's when it's at its most powerful. Because you didn't have hip hop Taco Bell commercials. You don't have everybody, rapping, color. So it's been now incorporated into Americana. And one of the cool things about hip hop was it was taboo.
Yeah.
You wasn't supposed to listen to it. There were stickers on the records.
Yeah. Wasn't your record the second record with the explicit lyrics on it, written on it?
First record ever stickered.
The first record ever stickered. Okay. Yeah. I knew it was one of the first ones ever. Yeah.
And they asked me, Tom, like, it wasn't mandatory. Warner Brothers said, well, they're trying to sticker the records. And I'm like, well, I don't want anybody to be surprised at what's going on in the album. Like, if I buy a Stephen King novel and there's a knife through somebody's back, I can't get mad that somebody got killed in the first chapter. It's like, that's what it is. So I always had guns and imagery, sex and stuff on the cover.
Yeah.
I said, put a sticker there. I don't want anybody to buy the record that doesn't know what they're getting.
Right. That was a big thing, right? Like, just for the people who are young people maybe don't remember, but like there was a moment when all of a sudden the records all had explicit lyrics, warning on it because of, I guess was it the Tipper Gore, I guess, went to court. Yeah.
They stickered Dice's album. They stickered Sam Kinison. They stickered, Slayer. They everybody was getting it, but it actually at that time helped sell records.
Yeah.
Because kids, on the Iceberg album, I turned the explicit sticker into like the logo of the album. I just ran with it, like whatever.
Did you immediately know that it was a political voice in music? Like from your very first record, did you know, I want to use this to talk about the truth about the real world and change society or talk about reality or politics? Did you know that right away? Not really. Like on my first album, there's a song called Squeeze the Trigger, which when I put it out, Bono made a comment saying that this is like one of the most prolific voices coming out right now. I'm like, wow, you too listening to me? But I didn't know. The first record is called Ryan Pays. The second record is called Power. Yeah. That was because I realized my words had power. Like you're saying, I didn't really realize that people in Australia was going to hear my record. I was just trying to make a record for the hood. I was trying to make a record for the homies
that my friends that have been supporting me for all these years, I didn't know that I was going to have people in London and South Africa and Brazil and all these different people writing me saying how important my words were. So that's why the next album is called Power. It's like, wow, these words have power. So I tried to lean more into situations. Also, when you become a spokesperson like myself, people come to you with agendas. People say, sing about this, man. Sing about the cops, man. Sing about this. Tell them about the, ICE, because you've now become a spokesperson. And I would take what they wanted me to say and send it through my belief system, and I would put it out my way.
Yeah, I mean, certainly with everything that's going on in the world today, and with Black Lives Matter and the police, brutality, and then you, of course, were one of the first voices to come out and really speak strongly about that with Body Count. I mean, must have been a pretty intense time for you when you put out that Body Count record?
Well, gotta remember, Tom, I've come from one place to another. So I'm growing up in a neighborhood. It's all Black people. It's a ghetto. I don't know anything. So my interpretation of white people could have been slanted because I didn't know enough white people. If you don't know gay people, you could have a slanted interpretation of their life. You don't know them. And it's easy not to like somebody you don't know.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's easy for somebody to say, oh, you don't like Muslims. You never even hung with a Muslim. You don't even know what, but that's how racism works. So I was never racist, but I just wasn't as informed as I am now about how the world operates. So, at that point, you got that real angry Ice-T, that kid that's just down in the streets trying to get his head out to the edge of the bucket. As I grew, I've been able to get out of the bucket. Now I'm actually able to hang around other people who are wealthy and successful, and they feel freely about saying negative shit because they feel like, well, now that you got a job, you ain't from there no more, so you shouldn't care. And I'm like, what kind of asshole do you think I am?
Yeah.
What kind of, for somebody like myself to come from it, gain a little bit of respect, a little bit of, you're in the entertainment business, it's like gain a little bit of success, and then to forget and say, I don't care about, people that were in the situation I was just in 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That's the textbook definition of a sellout. That's like, you know what I'm saying? That's the bullshit. So I know when it comes to Black Lives Matter and all this kind of shit, you ain't got to tell that to white people, because a lot of white people out there, most white people already respect Black people. They already respect, they got their best friend, their homeboy is Black. They not even with the bullshit. But there's a whole undertow of people out here that want the good old days, that good old bullshit. And they're like serial racists. And now when you see this big protest, you're seeing such diversity in the crowds. People are just done with that. They're just like, come on, man. Like, stop it. Like, you white, you Mexican, you Jewish, you Puerto Rican, you Black. We all friends, man. What's the problem, man? Why we got to start looking at each other with the bullshit,
Yeah.
And all white people, I could be with you, you could be my man, and we could go around somebody, and you'll be able to tell me, did you see what dude just did? And I'll be like, nah, because I'm so used to it.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, wow, that was some different shit. This guy asked me today, he was like, well, white privilege. And I'm like, I said, I couldn't really explain to you white privilege. You'd have to hang with me.
Yeah.
You'd have to stop in the car with me. You'd have to go to a job interview, and not with me. It couldn't be Ice-T, because Ice-T's kind of like a new color now. You know what I'm saying? You have to be my Black homeboy. My Black homeboy, a nondescript cat. You guys would have to go out and have to go around and do some things, like try to get into the country club or try to get over here and watch, and you'll feel it. And it ain't nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault. It's just what it is. It's what it is. It's like my wife, my Coco's white, but when the cops pull me over, she ain't worried about herself. She's worried about me.
Right. And have you ever had any situation because of your song "Cop Killer," which is, of course, sort of, when you get pulled over by the police, have they ever said, "Hey, you made that song"? How does that happen? And now you play a police officer, or you play a cop now on Law and Order SVU. So there must be a lot wrapped up in that. That you must have some interesting things that have happened because of that, right?
Two things.
Yeah.
One side, you get the cops that are going to go out of their way to show you that they're not that cop that I'm singing about.
Yeah.
They're going to be so cool that it's going to, because they know, they like Ice, I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
Then you got the other cops that are going to go out of their way to prove you're not special. You're a celebrity, whatever, we're going to show you don't get any special treatment. So there's two sides of it.
Right.
As far as them bringing up my song, that only happened once.
Oh, really? I'm surprised it wasn't more regular.
No, they can't say it because as soon as they say that, now you're not arresting me for that reason. You're arresting me because of some bullshit. They can't.
Right.
They can't say that.
Right.
So
right.
we were in front of a club, parked. I guess we were illegally parked. The four of us were sitting in the car, and we were outside the club. And I guess we were trying to wait to pick up some chicks, and the cops rolled on us. And we didn't have any guns, drugs, or anything, but they were giving us the number. I'm like, look, man, we just illegally parked. Can we just move? And they want to go through the whole drill. And at some point, I was like, come on, man, you ain't got to do this, And he said, well, you didn't feel any kind of way when you made that record.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I go, oh, is that what this is about? Well, the ACLU probably be interested, and that's why I'm being held, not because I broke the law and stuff like that. And once I plucked his card, he's like, get out of here.
Yeah.
You see, because even if they hate you or they racist, they can't let you know they're racist. They got to give it another description that it's, the broken taillight or whatever the bullshit is.
Right.
But if they let you know, this is why I'm stopping you, Tom Green, because I saw you on the internet saying this, that, and that about the cops. Now you got them. They can't legally do that.
Right.
So, what I did though to prevent my shit from getting jacked is my cars are registered to Ice-T Touring. So I have an LLC. So when I'm getting pulled over, they already know who they pulling over.
Right.
So that way I don't get shot. Soon. Like they walk up to the window already. Like Chris Rock said it best. He says, I'm famous from about 10 feet away in good light,
Yeah.
10
Amazing
feet away,
line.
I'm just another nigga. You know what I'm saying? I could get shot before the bullet will reach me before my identification reaches them. So I'm not playing with them. I don't fuck around with anybody who got a gun. I don't really care. I'm always, aware that person could take my life real easy over some bullshit.
Are you hopeful with everything going on right now that there'll be some significant or real change in the way police police this country?
I think the big change is going to come with white people that don't like racism as much as anybody else. And I think that they want to stand up against it and shut all this shit down. They just needed a tipping point. They just needed a place where they could step out and say it and not be shunned by other people. I think a lot of people are looking to their left and their right and finding out, wow, my coworker's a fucking dickhead, or my neighbor is a racist, or my relative is a racist. Like, this is how y'all really feel?
Yeah.
And
I think people are finding out on social media too, on Facebook. It's like, because everyone's arguing on Facebook about this shit, right?
Well, you can catch people out there. See, a lot of people, my favorite comment I've heard was from the Orient Express, the movie, where the guy goes, "Are you racist?" And the man said, "Well, it depends what race."
Right.
So a lot of people claim they're not, Like you could catch some people, oh no, black people, white, I'm cool with black people, fucking Jews. You like think you're not, but now you just diss the Jewish person. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So everybody, you can't be racist to one. You're either racist or you're not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't be like, oh, well, I'm cool with these people, but not with these people, or cool with this. That's that bullshit. So I was taught I judge a devil by his deeds. I watch people. I don't care if you're the same color as me. I don't care if you think you want to call me your brother. I'm watching you. And if you got some bullshit ways and you're a fucked up person, I can't fuck with you. Just because you my color or whatever, don't put your arm around me. You ain't my brother. You have to treat me like a brother. And I tell people, I'm like, if you have a friend who's a piece of shit to everybody else, it just may not be your turn yet.
Right.
That's their get down. So I've never really been into that. But I'm very aware that sometimes, and I'm not one of them guys that everything is race, everything is race. I'm not that dude neither. But every once in a while, you'll feel it.
Yeah.
You'll feel it like, this is some bullshit. Like this is some, and I got a lot of Jewish friends. I got lots of Puerto Rican friends, Mexican friends, and you could catch it. You'll hear it. There'll be some little bullshit.
Right.
And, oh, that's how you really feel, huh? And, I think your early question is, I think, yes, I think this is a big moment in American history, global history, where people are addressing systematic racism, police brutality, and a lot of other shit, a lot of other inequalities, justice, whether it be the LGBTQ, whatever it might be. People are saying, let's get over all these injustices.
Yeah. Good. Well, I really hope that that's the case. It seems like things are moving in the right direction, at least, finally.
You know what it's going to take? You know what it's going to take? It's going to take, fuck a protest, Like, protests are great because it allows people to see who's on their side. But it's going to take every single person that was in that protest to take that with them in their life. Like, take it to your workplace. Take it to your cousin. Take it to your family members. I read on Twitter the other day, the guy goes, I lost my aunt this weekend. She didn't die. She's racist.
Yeah.
So I think it's time for everybody just to really take a good look at everyone around them and say, okay, this is how you feel. Cool, I'm gonna deal with you in this particular way. Because I don't think it benefits anybody. It's just divide and conquer bullshit, but.
Yeah. Good. Well, I'm glad we got to talk about that. Let's shift gears for a second. I'm talking here to Ice-T, one of the greatest rappers of all time, right? OG, original gangster, Ice-T here. What's your top five? Speaking of Chris Rock, what's your top five?
I hate doing top fives. I can't.
Yeah, because you're friends with everybody, right? And then you have to leave somebody out, probably, right? Yeah, you don't want to leave out.
I would have to go old school. I would have to go. The most influential people in my career would be Eric B. and Rakim.
Yeah.
The Paid in Full album was out when my first record was coming out, and I never heard a record take over a city like Eric B. as president. I was in Harlem, and every single car in that city was playing that song. And it was just, coming out. Of course, Public Enemy.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the one that really, when I heard Bum Rush the Show and Nation of Millions, that was a whole new thing, a whole new eye-opening thing, just the way the music sounded too, and not to mention the music and the lyrics together, yeah.
The energy that came behind that.
Yeah.
Of course, Cube and N.W.A.
Yeah.
I was so real happy to have like backup. Like I had put out 2 albums before N.W.A came out, and they, you know, I was just N.W.A just came out and walked over me like Godzilla, took a shit on me and kept moving. I was like, whoa. But
Godzilla took a shit on you and kept on moving. I like that.
But fortunately, we were all friends. Cube, Dre, Easy, you know, Ren, good friends. We toured together early in our careers. So, you know, DOC, those three.
They must have loved you just because of the movie Colors too, right? Which sort of depicted a lot of what N.W.A talked about in their music too, right?
We were all living the same shit.
Yeah. We
were all living the same shit. So they knew about Ice-T. They definitely, we were all friends.
Yeah.
So it came out, you know, heavy. They were out touring with me when they had singles like Dope Man and all those other songs.
Yeah.
They dropped the album. They dropped Compton's Most Wanted, you know, later. Let's see, Boogie Down Productions.
Yeah.
Of course, KRS-One. You know, with the Criminal Minded album, where he basically said that the government has a criminal mind, so you have to be criminal minded. This is how they operate.
Yeah.
And wow. I'll just say this is not a record quote pick, but just as being an MC, Eminem.
Right. Yes.
Just because I saw the birth of Eminem, I actually had his record, his cassette, when he was thinking about having his girl in the trunk, and watching him go from that to being like right now considered the biggest rapper of all time. He earned it, and
yeah.
I was fortunate to watch his growth and his excitement. You know, the normals, everybody's Pac, Biggie, blah, blah, blah. Those would be my top five. And I'm not as big an Eminem fan as far as his records. I'm just a fan as far as his skill.
Right.
Like his ability. The motherfucker can wrap circles around motherfuckers. He's pretty amazing.
Just the writing, the wordplay, the speed, the intricacy of it all.
Yeah, just when you think he can't do it any better. I was with Dre the other day, and Dre played some shit, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, make you want to rap it. And then another thing, M said the first rap record he ever heard was Reckless.
Oh yeah, there you go, right? And he was probably breakdancing to it and popping and locking to your music, and probably is the reason he's a rapper and a billionaire today because of you.
Yes, I gotta put I get a little seed in there on the birth of M, so I'll take that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, listen, I got one last question for you, but it's not from me, okay, Ice? I was
Watch your studio time. This is some shit right here.
Cool, man. Yeah. It's this is.
Who is the guy in the back in the COVID mask? Who's that?
That's Larry. That's Larry back there. Yeah, let's see if I can get a good shot of Larry back there. Yeah, there's Larry back there. Let's see if I can get a good shot of Larry. Actually, here, let me see here. Oh no, I don't have one queued up right now. But yeah, that's Larry. He's got his mask on. Well, because Ice, like if you're a bad ventriloquist, right? Like. Which I am. A pandemic is a great time to do your ventriloquism because nobody can see you moving your mouth, right? So
both of you.
But here, speaking of a mask, here, check this out. I got a question for you from MC Search, who I interviewed.
Okay.
I interviewed last week from Third Base, and we've gotten to know each other real well. Actually, I interviewed him a few weeks ago, but I wasn't able to get this queued up right, so I'm just going to play it from my phone, all right? And let's see. I have to see if I check out what I got here.
Yo, what up, Ice? It's Search. Hey, quick question for you. And I always wanted to ask you this, but in New Jack City, when you arrest Wesley Snipes, you said, and I quote, "I want to shoot you right now so bad my dick is hard." And I always wanted to know, did you improv that? Or was that written in the script? Because I remember your look. And I don't know if it was you were uncomfortable saying the line, or it was one of those things where you improv'd it on the spot, but it's one of my favorite lines of all time. And I just wanted to know, did you improv that, or was that written? And it's just a great job. New Jack City is one of my favorite films of all time. So thank you, Ice. Thank you for everything you've contributed to hip hop, your movies, just everything.
And it cuts off at the end there. That's
Oh,
the legendary third base MC Search. Yeah.
Search is the OG.
Yeah.
Let's not get it fucked up. And hip hop back in the day, there was only a few white cats that really were rapping on par with, the rest of hip hop. And Search was out there in the front. And I used to go to the new music seminars and see Search running shit, and we all say everybody who was there knows who was there.
Yeah.
And you can't fake the funk, but Search is a G, so I respect him. Now, to answer that question,
Yeah.
first off, Search, you're not the first person to ask that question. That was an ad-lib that happened. We had been fighting all day. We fought from upstairs in the scene. It actually started at the night, ended in the day. We fought down the fire escape. We fought out into the streets. And by the time we got to this last scene, they had both of us were all bloody, and Wesley was bloody. And we were actually physically tired from shooting the scene. And I got to that point and I hit him or whatever, and I just looked at him, and the MC light just went on. I said, I want to shoot you so bad, my dick is hard. And when I said it, the producers, Doug McHenry and George Jackson, jumped up from the seats over there where they were in video. Bill said, what did he just say? What did I just say? What did that nigga just say? Oh, that's in the movie. That's in the movie. That's in the movie. Fuck that. That's in the movie. So it was an ad-lib, lit up Video Village, and it stayed in the movie. And I don't know. I didn't think of saying it ahead of time. Just happened in the rough and tumbleness of the actual action of the scene, and it just came out. It's a legendary line.
Amazing. Nice. I'm glad Search asked that question. That's an incredible story. Ice, thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time to do this. We were following each other on Twitter. I reached out. I said, I'm a huge fan. I've been a huge fan forever, and the fact that you took the time to call into my little show here is so cool. So I really do appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Tom Green, that's all you want out of this business, is have people to like you and respect you. And when it's sincere, of course you want to accommodate that person. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a fan of yours. I've been watching you, laughing with you, all kinds of shit you do. I'm like, this motherfucker's crazy. So
yeah,
then
I am a bit crazy, I think.
Yeah, but you in a good way, good way. And the dopeness. I knew that you were making beats and stuff. So of course, when you reached out to me and said, let's get on the show or something, I'm like, I'm with it. I mean, I'm on quarantine too. I can't act like I'm busy, Tom. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, well, hey, speaking of quarantine, you do have that great new video out from Body Count, quarantine video that you shot. We didn't even talk about that, but it's on your Twitter. Everybody go watch it on Twitter. New Body Count video that you all shot from your homes on your iPhones. Pretty dope, man. Really dope.
And for people that may not be following me, come over. It's wild on my page. It's at Final Level. It's not Ice-T.
Yeah.
And I do Instagram sometime. That's Ice MFT, but you know what the MF's for. But but Twitter is fun because we decapitate trolls on my page.
Oh yeah. I actually meant to talk about that, but we don't have to get into it because I know you got probably things to do. But your Twitter is hilarious, man. Because the way you kind of go after the trolls, like sometimes I kind of go, can you even say that? I mean, that seems it's pretty intense. You really go for it. You really let people have it on there.
When I first got on Twitter, I knew it was mob rules.
Yeah.
When I got on there, I said, whoever got the most people is going to control this conversation.
Yeah.
So now I'm about 1.7 million. I got a lot of people. So now if someone disses me, all I got to do is retweet. I'm like, really? And I created my followers, and now we call the Final Level Twitter gang. So they're real proud. I got old ladies like, I'm in the gang. I'm like, yeah, you're in the gang, Mom. Don't worry about it.
Nice.
And, with Twitter, you can block people, you can mute people, so they just yell into a void.
Yeah.
You got a lot of trolls that just come on there. So I try to keep it fair. I try to talk to my fans as much as I can because they're never going to get a chance probably ever to talk to me in real life. And then every once in a while, somebody says something stupid that I just got to let them have it, Yeah. So I enjoy it.
I really enjoy it too. It's a lot of fun following your feed. Really, really cool. Hey, Ice, thanks again, man. I really appreciate it. I look forward to getting to see you sometime in person when we're out of these crazy quarantines here.
When can people see this? When is this gonna happen?
You know what, man? I'm gonna probably have this up either later today or tomorrow, and I'll tweet it to you, and it'll be up very soon, and I'll make sure I send it to you, and yeah, tweet it out there to all your followers out there. It'll be fun.
People always tell me I'm gonna send this to you to a tweet. I'm like, do you understand how many people I got coming at me? I say, call me, man. You got my number. Call me.
Right. I'll text it to you. I'll text it to you. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Say no more. All right. Thanks, Tom.
All right. Hey, Ice. Peace. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay.
Peace, everybody. Out.
All right. Bye. How awesome was that? I mean, that was just the coolest thing ever. Ice-T. I don't even know what to say. I grew up listening to Ice-T, and it's just one of the great legends of music and entertainment and America. One of the great legends of America. So this is so cool. Thank you for watching Webovision, and yeah, we'll see you later. Thanks, Ice-T. Incredible.
Yeah.